Okay, so we've got all of our parts back. Heads are redone. Wanted to show you a couple of things. These are the old manifold bolts and these are the new ones. If you can't tell, they're significantly different. It looks like there's not enough thread and the thread's up here. Head bolts don't look all that different, but we did find one of the head bolts broken, snapped off. Don't know where I put it, probably threw it away. And the gasket is significantly different. Let me show you what the old gasket looked like. It's kind of what it is, right? Actually, yeah, kind of like what it is, okay? This is a marine gasket, the one that we got, and it is a lot different. I've got the heads back, they're freshly painted. The valve job in it was pretty bad, so I had to spend about $500 getting that all sorted out. Everything in the top end here with regards to gaskets and bolts is all from Feld Pro for the MerCruiser 5 and 5.7, and there's a 5.7 in this. It's 17030. You need two of them because you got two heads, obviously, right? We still don't know entirely what happened to this engine. We're assuming it's some sort of combination of not torquing down these heads correctly, using the wrong gasket, the bad flapper. It could be a multitude of things. The best thing we can do right now is, and this is the bad flapper. Best thing we can do right now is put it all back together and see what we got, okay? So I'm gonna start with the starboard head. We're gonna put this gasket down. We're gonna follow the manual for the torquing sequence. And then we're just gonna put the push rods in, tighten them down, and then go on to the port head and do that. I don't know if we're gonna get to that this weekend. I got some other things going on that are not related to this boat. But I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks that we're gonna have this all done. Steve did a really good job putting this all together, and he's been really, really helpful. Unfortunately, I did not mark any of the push rods and the rocker arms together, so we're gonna have to go through and adjust everything. Apparently this is not a bad thing, but it's also not a great thing. We'll recover from it. So when you do a head job like this, if you're going to do it, try not to do what I did, which is just put everything everywhere associated with it. I initially separated it correctly, but then I cleaned everything. The rocker arms had the same garbage that was all over these head bolts. These are the cleaned up head bolts. They look nothing like what I took out. Like I said, one of these I found was totally snapped off. It's not snapped off in the block, so who knows. The heads clearly were off the old motor, not with this one. And hopefully we can, get it all done. I think this is going to be the balance of the afternoon. Kind of gave you a synopsis of what we got here. I also have I went and got some bolts from Lowe's, 7/16/16, and they're about 4 inches long. They're probably a ½ inch too short, but I'm going to use them to hang the risers, the manifolds, because the gasket's kind of a pain in the butt to get on, and that manifold's pretty heavy. We've also painted everything in a flat, and I'm going to throw a clear on top of it. That solves my rust problem that I absolutely hate in this boat. Let's get to it. Okay, hopefully you can see all this. We're going to do a couple of real important things here to start. First of all, I've already done this, but we're going to check the head for flatness. The mating surface for flatness. Make sure it's within tolerance. It's going to require a couple of things. So we're going to go look up at the manual and we're going to find the important details. So give me a second and I'll be back. Okay, so we're gonna measure from here to here, here to here, and we're gonna make sure we're gonna use a straight edge, and we're gonna make sure that it is within 0.05 millimeters. I'm sorry, 0.1 millimeter at the deck, okay? There are some tolerances for the intake and the exhaust manifold, and I will do them when we get to that point. At this point, I'm going to grab my feeler gauge, okay? And I'm going to find 0.1. We got to be within 0.1. So So, 0.1 millimeter or 0.004, like it says. And then I have my straight edge. So, we're simply going to follow the manual, right? And we will make sure that we can't Here's where the touch points. Oops. Does not go under. Okay, that means we're good there. Now, that's this side. Now what we should do is clean the decking. And to clean the decking, I'm not using paper towel, I'm using a microfiber towel. Okay, and I'm using Brake Clean. Okay. And we want to remove all of this. I'm going to make sure there's nothing contaminating the surface. It's not going to be perfect. And then what we're going to do after this is we're going to clean out all the bolt holes. Now, I went over the decking surface with a roll-lock wheel, a green one, just to remove any contamination that was here. Hopefully you can see it. Okay. I don't know if I'm used to aluminum blocks, not a cast iron block. I'm just going to clean this off to my best of ability. Okay. Then I'm going to take a tap or a chase, right? And I'm going to try to clean this up. Understand these surfaces gotta be nice and clean. Okay, if they're not, when I put down the gasket, it's just going to lead to another failure, and I'm going to be doing this again. All right. Now, after we've done all of this, I'm going to pressure test the cooling system to make sure that we don't have anything else going on with this. So A little bit of brake clean in the bolt holes. Okay. See if I can find my, okay. So I got my 7/16/14 chase. Now I'll run it through. Some of these holes are blind, some of these holes go all the way through. Oops, try not to do that. Okay. Just want to make sure there's no contaminants in here, right? The reason why I'm doing this, I found some really like Indian head, like bolt sealer or some garbage like that. Came off in my cleaning tray. These surfaces, I mean these bolt holes are what are holding on the head gasket, and I want to make sure there's nothing that's going to prevent them from holding a good clamping things down, right? Kind of got the drift. I'm going to go through and I'm going to do all of them like this. I'm going to blow them out when I get a chance. Okay, I'm going to blow these out. There's one of the old bolts. Run the chase through it. Pull it out. Okay, so we've cleaned this all off. We are going to put down our head gasket. Embossment, or basically the Velcro sign or marking, hang it on these two tabs. If it goes. Okay. Push it down. Okay. Now, for the head, I don't know what this is. Hit it with all. Okay. Now, I'm gonna throw on my gloves now because I don't want to get any oil from my hands that may be on my hands on these gaskets. Okay. Now you really can't see me, but that's really not important right now. I got everything I need, I hope, ready for this. So we're gonna pick this thing up, and it's not light by any stretch of the imagination.